Hello Scorpio, my name is Victoria Martin, and this is going to count for Scorpio Sun sign, or if you have Scorpio rising sign, ascending sign, this will work for you also. So let's take a look at February. All right, now the first half of February for everybody, the mood is both manic and dreamy. And this is going to affect your fourth house, the basis for happiness, family, home, and managing. And so that you are attempting to establish more firmly what it is that you want in life for your personal life. The second half of February will be more dominated by the fifth house, special talents and children probability estimates. So my guidance for everybody for February is pay attention to subtle clues and train your ESP. This would especially apply to you regarding your talents, and avoiding toxins and shun illusions. Not so easy to do, especially since February will be fairly mesmerizing. Okay, so the program here, February 6th through 10th, is the waking up process. You're going to find out because the Chinese New Year. And then the full moon, February 20th through 24th, is dreamy and manic. February 25th through March 2nd, Sun conjunct Neptune, a lot of interesting stories. Okay, so here's this new moon, very special because it's the year of the fire monkey. And in order to inform you more properly, I consulted my colleague, Punyin, who is an expert on Chinese astrology, and she typified the fire monkey as a jumpy ride. Interesting image, you know. She's advising for people that large crowds could cause nervous overload, okay? Focus instead on building strong bonds, boost your immune system, retreat into the tranquility and beauty of natural settings. Also, curb needless social activity, those big crowds. Okay, so avoid rushing, avoid tech pollution like microwaves or whatever, and avoid just disturbances in general. Sounds good to me. For more information, check out the Feng Shui Master Punyin at punyin.com. And, it should be an interesting year. Never dull, right? So back to our regular astrology. The full moon, or rather the new moon, in your area of your fourth house, you're creating a better basis for happiness, family, and home, managing things. New moons are setting the trends. They're open and receptive, prophetic and tactical. In this case, it's right at the overlap between the tail of the sea goat and the shoulder of Aquarius. So in terms of what would fit for your fourth house and your family, starting things off here, is that I would say that any kind of, you want to use catalysts for your family to spur them on to greater achievement, or maybe for your own happiness, that any kind of ignorance, whether it's within yourself or within other people in your family circle, or anything regarding management or happiness or property, is you want to call a spade a spade. Say, that's really ignorant. I'm going to enact some kind of judgment, even though maybe not harsh judgment, and then see if that can benefit the situation. Now, on a more upbeat note, the new moon near the Sa'ad al-Sud, which is able to make things flow, so we see things flowing and moving forward in connection with your family or your basis for happiness. So that's kind of positive. And so I guess go with the flow would be the advice, or create flow, create movement, create motion. Okay, so then the full moon, which is February 20th through 24th, is in your 11th house, benefactors, patrons, and friends. And this is kind of lucky because it's near conjunction to Jupiter, which is the bringer of luck and good fortune. Meanwhile, the sun on the full moon is aligned up with Neptune in your 5th house, so it's that kind of dichotomy between, do you want to see your friends on the full moon, which you do, or do you want to go and develop your own special talents? For an artist would be time in the studio, or time with your children, or whatever. So it's kind of going back and forth between those two things. Now the full moon is in a very interesting part of the star map. It's near the heart of the lion and the back of the lion, and even though this is tropical Virgo, we're actually back one constellation when you look at the actual stars. It's also close to sextans the compass. So that these are all going to have an effect on your social life. So then, so the kinds of friends that you want to be around are probably those who are the high achievers, the alpha types, those who are noble, courageous, and frank. And those who are, and also the way to improve your friendships is to work or enrich the life of the heart, as opposed to other things. And that this is really what humans, really appeals to humans. And the other thing is, having a sense of living by your wits, or maybe providing some guidance or encouragement for souls in these turbulent times. The other thing is, the Zasma, the goddess riding on the back of the lion. We probably have some friends who are pretty interesting people, performers or therapists, and maybe there's the helping minority groups, because here we have that repeating of the theme of groups in your 11th house, as well as the theme of minority groups. Maybe time for you to explore groups that be certain ethnic pockets in your realm, and maybe a group that you haven't met before, and find some interest that way. Okay, so this whole period of time from February 20th through March 2nd, which is about 10 days, I'm expecting this to be the most mystical and potentially confusing time of the year. So that's a big statement, right? Empathy and compassion work wonders. Beware the fakers out there. So in this case, the revelation comes through your groups and your benefactors and friends, so you're gathering together who is supportive of you. And then meanwhile, there's a lot of sensitivity regarding your talent. Talent requires special nurturing, just like children do. And also luck is the kind of thing that's largely based on intuition or a knack for probability estimate. So those are the kinds of things that require just a really incredible sensitivity. And of course, things like, unfortunately, even though intoxicants like alcohol might be a lot of fun, they do knock out your ESP and kind of make people less lucky. I'm sorry to say, I'm a party pooper, I admit it. But anyway, so that's something to keep in mind during that time frame. So then, just to summarize February, the new moon, February 6th through 10th, is a waking up process. The full moon, February 20th through 24th, is dreamy and manic. Those kind of polarity. But then it gets even more interesting stories, February 25th through March 2nd, with the Sun conjunct Neptune. Now that spills off really rapidly into the solar eclipse time window, which the solar eclipse is March 8th, but I'm sensing people are going to start to feel it at least by March 4th, if not earlier. So that means we're just leaving Sun conjunct Neptune and then going right into that solar eclipse. So solar eclipses are known, in this case, it's near the beginning of spring. But especially just solar eclipses are always global opinion shifts on topics of religion, patronage, and healing. So this could affect your special talents. Maybe you have a special talent for forecasting or global things, or you're trying to apply your special talents in some kind of a global situation. What do you have that would be of interest to, maybe bigger than just your community or nation, but more global? And also your children, if you have any, would be, definitely looking for, some kind of guidance regarding religion, patronage, and healing. Okay, so it's a really potent time, and things are kind of up in the air on a solar eclipse. You don't really know how they're going to land, and it takes I would say not until March 10th. So that period, March 4th through March 10th, might be this feeling of, what is it all about? What does this mean? What's going on? It's just like nobody can quite figure it out. And then the lunar eclipse is going to dominate the second half of March, and this is focusing on duties and your job, health, and healing. So my advice is be ready for anything, keep the faith, use science, and troubleshoot. And this lunar eclipse would be affecting your 12th house of your spirituality and dreams. So you may have a premonition in advance about whatever it is you have to cut out, because lunar eclipses are illuminating things that don't fit. So anyway, that's my prognosis in detail for February, my very, very brief forecast for March. And thank you very much for watching. Have an excellent month. My name is Victoria Martin.
Bu akşam seminerimizi canlı olarak mobil uygulamamız üzerinden yapıyoruz.